It all comes down to this. X-Play's Best of 2008 Awards Special. After a landmark year full of blockbuster sequels, indie surprises, and really long cutscenes, only one game will take home the title of Best Game of 2008. Fable 2, Fallout 3, Gears of War 2, Grand Theft Auto 4, Left 4 Dead, Metal Gear Solid 4, Resistance 2. Plus, we're dishing out awards for Best Multiplayer, RPG, Handheld, Action-Adventure, Shooter, Racing, MMO, and more. There's no red carpet, no designer dresses, and no BS. This is the best of the best in video games. This is X-Play's Best of 2008 Awards Special, and it all starts now.
Welcome to X-Play's Best of 2008 Awards Special, a celebration of the best games released this year. I'm Morgan Webb.
And I'm Adam Sessler. Now, these are the Oscars of video games, so we will have a 4-hour runtime and dance numbers you can sleep through.
Yes. Now, winners were decided by a panel made up of X-Play staff members and 2 Supreme Court justices.
Thanks, David Souter and John Paul Stevens.
We appreciate it. Now, the voting process was decidedly less violent this year, with only 4 arrests for beatings about the face and the neck.
But now, let's fire this up and shoot off our first award. Here are the nominees for Most Original Game. Braid. I understand we humans only use 10% of our brains. After playing this time-bending platformer, I officially use 11% of my brain. No More Heroes.
There's no way out of this.
Travis Touchdown's quest is like nothing we've ever seen before. Actually, it's a whole bunch of things we've never seen before in a row. Little Big Planet. Its aesthetic and infinite possibilities promise to keep Little Big Planet unique for a long time to come. Boom Blocks. We know Jenga is not new, and neither are cute animals. But combined, that's original and pretty damn fun. Mirror's Edge. The best first-person parkour game set in a dystopian future we've ever played, and that is a very short list of games. The World Ends With You. We know combining dead people in shopping malls is great, but the combat, the soundtrack, and the fashion are what keeps The World Ends With You in our DS's.
And the winner is Braid. Little Tim and his story of lost love won our hearts, but the time-twisting gameplay nearly broke our minds.
I can't remember the last time a game made me think backwards and sideways at the same time. Maybe Bayou Billy, but I think I was playing it wrong.
Okay, every developer is looking for the next big idea in gaming, but as we all know, not all new ideas are good ones.
So when we see a groundbreaking idea that changes the way we play games, we like to reward it.
Here is the short list for best gameplay innovation. The AI director in Left 4 Dead. A step above randomly generated enemies, the director will alter the events of a campaign specifically in response to your group's performance. Voice commands in Tom Clancy's End War. A lot of games have tried to do voice commands, but End War is the first game to truly succeed. Objective-based multiplayer in Resistance 2.
Destroy the 2 auxiliary reactors inside.
The vanilla deathmatch is pretty much dead, and Insomniac has taken a huge step toward making large-scale multiplayer more than just one giant battle of attrition. Right-stick combat into Human. A lot of games have tried to do the Diablo thing on a console, but 2 Human was the first to come up with a control scheme to effectively combat hordes of enemies with ease. Level creation and sharing in Little Big Planet. The tremendously powerful creation tools let you do almost anything imaginable, and the intuitive online sharing system lets you show everyone else with a PS3 the cool stuff you made. Public quests in Warhammer Online. Many elements of this MMO innovate beyond what World of Warcraft has done, but public quests that any passerby can join in on are by far our favorite.
And the winner is Little Big Planet. The level design feature is so simple and yet so deep that anyone could pick it up and only be limited by their imagination.
And the fact that you can share these creations with the world just puts Little Big Planet over the edge. Although, seriously, Sony can ease off the throttle when it comes to pulling down people's work, even if it does infringe on some copyright laws.
Yes. We all like sharing with our friends, and sometimes that involves sharing with the bullet, with their face.
Single-player campaigns have their place, but when it comes to fun with people on your friends list or, racist strangers, multiplayer is where the action is.
Here are the best multiplayer titles. Madden NFL 09. This installment in the venerable franchise gets it right. It looks great and plays even better.
He makes it to the 35-yard line.
Too human.
Come and face your fate.
Spot-on controls and tag team moves made Too Human a unique co-op experience. And you get to learn about Norse mythology without doing that whole reading a book thing.
For that, I stand here today.
Gears of War 2.
I got your back, Sarge!
The formula for multiplayer fun that Epic stumbled upon in the first Gears got new modes, a matchmaking system, and a ton of maps to murder on. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. Fight! Fighting games and online play have never gotten along very well. Until now. Arcade machines have more lag than this. Resistance 2. With an 8-player co-op mode and up to 60 players in online matches, the bosses aren't the only things in this game that could be described as huge. Left 4 Dead. Designed from the ground up to be played with friends, Left 4 Dead adds a one-of-a-kind versus game to its co-op chapter. And the winner is Left 4 Dead. I have to admit, I never thought the zombie apocalypse would be this addicting.
And no matter what happens, live or die, there's always a story to tell the next day. Like getting punched off the roof by a tank.
Now, while no sports game will ever recreate the thrill of dumping Gatorade on someone, there are a few out there that come close. Connect your giant foam fingers. Here are the nominees for Best Sports Game.
NHL 09.
Malcolm's got 2 minutes for high sticking.
EA Sports scores a slap shot of a sim with Be a Pro mode, where you get to step into the skates of one player through a whole career.
He shoots, he scores!
Hot Shots Golf out of bounds.
Nice shot!
The goofy golfers and their caddies return to the green with an all-new advanced swing system and plenty of unlockable characters. FIFA Soccer 09.
Well, they've done it by keeping the opposition at bay.
FIFA definitely delivers the best soccer experience to please the most die-hard fans.
That's a very good piece of tidying up at the back.
NBA 2K9.
Here's Williams.
The most impressive addition to the franchise, the living rosters, where players' stats, injuries, and trades are updated daily.
Shank cleans the glass.
Madden NFL 09.
Deliver a pass to an open receiver.
One of the most dominant franchises introduces a new 32-player online league, plus updated weekly rosters, improved graphics, and even bigger hits.
We've got a 3rd and 6.
And our winner is Madden NFL 09. This year, EA finally delivered a big overhaul.
And we're not so sure how smart John Madden actually is, but the inclusion of Madden IQ gives someone not so skilled in sports games a shot at enjoying it.
You wouldn't be talking about yourself, would you?
Of course not.
Now, these days, games have a shelf life way beyond the time when you finish the goods on the disc.
With DLC, games get a second life, and we have less money in our wallets. Here are the nominees for the best in downloadable content. Team Fortress 2. The upgrades for the various classes in the game add tons of play value, new achievements, and keeps a great game fresh. Warhawks. 2 expansions from the PlayStation Store add new vehicles, maps, and weaponry to this already high-flying multiplayer shooter. Call of Duty 4. The excellent Variety Map Pack is part of what's kept the top-selling game of 2007 on everyone's nightly playlist a year after its release. Rock Band 2. Harmonix rocks on a weekly basis with over 300 songs available for download at reasonable prices from every genre imaginable. Burnout Paradise. Despite being released at the beginning of the year, expansions that add new areas and motorcycles entice us to return to Paradise City regularly. And the winner is Rock Band 2 DLC songs. The good people at Harmonix provide us with new downloads every week like clockwork.
That's really the way DLC should work, and as proof, you don't have to look any further than the figures. More than 28 million songs have been downloaded by aspiring rockers.
Now, beyond getting additional content via the internet, we all enjoy downloading entire games this way.
Oh, this year there were a whole slew of mind-blowing games that were available online.
From simple little wads of gunk to some revamped old favorites, there was something for everyone. Here are the nominees for the best downloadable game.
World of Goo. It's an engineer's dream and a janitor's nightmare as you must assemble the sticky blobs in the world of Goo to achieve your goal of Goo domination. Bionic Commando Rearmed. Reworked and remixed, Bionic Commando Rearmed takes the classic title of yesterday and adds in the technology of today with new moves and multiplayer. Braid. The only platformer played in a tie. Braid takes a deceptively simple idea and turns it on its head with the power to manipulate time at a haunting score. Geometry Wars Retro Evolved. As if beating the high score just wasn't enough, Geometry Wars Retro Evolved 2 adds in more modes, a few buddies, and more geomes than you can handle. Ratchet & Clank's Quest for Booty.
Be careful, Ratchet.
While the sequel is nowhere in sight, Quest for Booty fills that dire need for shooting, platforming, and lombats distilled in a single download. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. With its hand-drawn animation and silky smooth online gameplay, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix was like going back to the arcade all over again.
You win.
And the winner is Braid. Remember all that stuff we said about Braid earlier? Well, it's still true here.
For a truly unique gaming experience, this is one title you have to try. And it's downloadable, so there really is no excuse because you don't even have to get off your couch.
Now, strategy games typically require meticulous personality with compulsion for resource management.
Hey, then there are the few that rise above the stereotypes and breathe new life into the genre.
Valkyria Chronicles.
Shall we dance?
For taking the turn-based genre in a new direction with interesting gameplay and beautiful visuals. Galactic Civilizations 2, Twilight of the Arnor.
The known galaxy is at war.
Yet another top-quality expansion for Stardock's space domination masterpiece. Advance Wars Days of Ruin. For an expansive campaign and map design tools. Tom Clancy's End War.
The end has begun.
Bringing World War III home with stellar voice recognition
Engage.
and compelling, persistent online play. Sins of a Solar Empire. A grand scale and gigantic fleet battles make for an epic RTS experience.
And the winner is Sins of a Solar Empire. Sins gives you the impressive ability to control a large number of units with ease and the technical feat of being able to scroll out to see a whole solar system or in to check out a single ship.
It also took the entire convention of node control and added the sci-fi element of securing airspace around a planet. And for this, your strategy game of the year. So, looking at my scorecard so far, Braid has taken home 2 prizes. Does that mean it's on its way to Game of the Year?
Of course not. It's not even on our short list. But come back to see who does take home top honors. We'll see you in a sec.
Coming up on X-Play's Best of 2008 special. The pageantry has just begun. Keep it here to see who takes home the top honors for Best Shooter, Best RPG, Best Racing Game, Best Action-Adventure Game, and many, many more. Then your favorite games go head-to-head, and we'll crown one of them Game of the Year. The envelopes keep opening, and the winners keep coming. Don't miss it.
Welcome back to X-Play's Best of 2008 special. After a hard day's work in the G4 salt mines, there's not many things I enjoy more than coming home, loading up a sniper rifle, and killing people.
Virtually, of course.
Oh yeah, virtually.
Yes.
Here are the nominees for Best Shooter.
Gears of War 2. Marcus and Dom returned this year in a longer campaign, expanded multiplayer, and horde mode. Left 4 Dead. Valve's experiment in AI ended up being equal parts terrifying, hilarious, and fun. There's no better way to see how you'd actually hold up in a zombie apocalypse. Far Cry 2. Improving on its predecessor in every way, running around Far Cry's African savanna actually feels like you're, well, running around an African savanna. Call of Duty World at War. COD returned to its original World War II recipe, but added vehicles, flamethrowers, and zombies. Nazi zombies. Resistance 2. More guns, more baddies, and bigger bosses. Way bigger. Resistance 2 introduced co-op missions and massive online matches to the series. And the winner is Left 4 Dead. This game is near perfect in its simplicity. Shoot, run, don't die.
And the AI director keeps every run feeling new. You're never playing the game the same way twice. Now, our next category is a favorite of those who hate themselves and want to be other people. Role-playing games.
If you love living someone else's life, you can't go wrong with any of these titles.
The world ends with you.
Ready to die?
Defying JRPG conventions and utilizing the potential of the Nintendo DS to the fullest, Square's quirky and charming story of teens who defeat evil while shopping for stylish clothing is a breath of fresh air in the stale genre. Fallout 3. Bethesda picks up the Fallout torch and carries it to victory with an engaging and almost oppressively immersive post-nuclear nightmare. By turns bleak and hilarious, it both does homage to its roots and blazes new trails.
Run along now, dearie.
Persona 4.
Ready or not, here we come!
Atlus's eternally weird RPG series reaches new heights of unsettling glory with an intriguing story and intricate battle system.
Get out of my face!
Tales of Vesperia.
You want revenge? Bring it!
The venerable Tales series steps into the HD era with a charming new story, great visuals, and the real-time group combat we know and love.
Resound, O cry of victory!
Fable 2. Peter Molyneux's fantasy opus delivered where the first game didn't, making Albion a huge, involving place and letting the player have a real impact on his future. Fluid, intuitive combat and a wry sense of humor made it a treat from beginning to end.
And the winner is Fallout 3, most depressing game in Depresso Town.
At one point, I had to resort to cannibalism to survive, and I did wonders to my karma. Well, Bethesda created a giant world with a million possibilities, and we got hooked.
All right, without solid characters, games are nothing more than Pong. In fact, I think even Pong had characters.
Yeah, wasn't the left paddle named Larry and had a backstory of accidentally killing someone while driving drunk?
Yeah, it was a touching story of redemption, but here are the nominees for Best New Character. Nico Bellic from Grand Theft Auto 4.
Good to have you here, cousin.
In a departure from the cartoonish main characters of previous installments, Rockstar North gave us a nuanced and realistic protagonist in Nico.
Can you show me that again?
Your dog from Fable 2. We named the dog Indiana. Peter Molyneux's initial announcement that you would be guided by a dog in Fable 2 was met with healthy skepticism, but he was right and we fell in love with our loyal canine companion.
Now you just rest.
Sackboy from Little Big Planet. As an adorable blank canvas for your creative urges, Media Molecule's endearing new mascot never fails to put a smile on any face. Travis Touchdown from No More Heroes. Socially awkward, obsessed with nerdy crap, utterly unable to land a date, owns multiple lightsabers, subject to homicidal rage. We saw so much of ourselves in Travis, it was impossible not to love the guy.
It's game time.
Drebin893 for Metal Gear Solid 4.
Stick yourself with it.
Snake's commerce-minded ally with the freaky monkey never fails to brighten up any super long cutscene.
You need a guy like me.
And the winner is Drebin893 from Metal Gear Solid 4. In a game full of cutscenes, Drebin and his hairless monkey caught our attention and kept us well armed.
And despite the fact that he was a major new character in a 20-year-old well-established franchise, he fit in perfectly. Now, you can have your fancy engines and shaders, but it doesn't mean jack unless there's something interesting scenery to look at.
Now, in our next category, we look at the games that were easy on the eyes and excelled in the field of art direction.
Fable 2.
She reached out for the comfort of the dog's warm fur.
The storybook look of Albion is wonderfully realized in lush forests and bustling towns.
It's even more beautiful than I imagined.
Metal Gear Solid 4. Military hardware and locations from around the globe are recreated with lavish detail and convincing authenticity. Little Big Planet. The happy-go-lucky world of Sackboy is so detailed and nuanced that it feels like you could reach out and touch the objects inside your TV. Fallout 3. Never has a post-apocalyptic landscape been so delightfully bleak, oppressive, and full of intriguingly horrible things.
The Overseer won't tolerate this kind of behavior.
Far Cry 2. I've never been to Africa, but now that I've played Far Cry 2, I feel like I could fake it. Prince of Persia. The Prince's world of magic and fantasy looks like it jumped right off the concept artist drawing table and onto the screen.
And the winner is Little Big Planet. Everything about this world charmed us, from the menus to the costumes to the oversized skateboards.
Even boring levels created by players seamlessly mesh with the world created by Media Molecule. These could have looked awful, but even the game's building blocks are well made. Now, coming up, we'll take a look back at all the X-Play employees who died this year, as well as reveal our pick for best writing.
And for all of you audiophiles, we'll reveal our choice for best soundtrack and best sound design. We'll be right back. Welcome back to X-Play's Best of 2008 Awards Special. Well, just nice and everything, just for you guys. Our next category recognizes the games that excel in the field of animation, and here are the nominees. Madden NFL 09.
And he nails them in the air.
The hits look harder, the moves look slicker, and player collision interactions are vastly improved. Left 4 Dead. No matter how many zombies we kill, their deaths never stop being entertaining. Prince of Persia. Everything from the prince's athletic movements to the evil creature's dark tendrils is beautifully depicted.
Want to time your advice better next time?
NBA 2K9.
Misses the shot.
A quantum leap in basketball game animation. The crowd is incredible, and the players' moves and interactions with one another are near flawless.
Amar snatches the rebound.
Grand Theft Auto 4. Masterful use of the Euphoria engine brings characters alive like never before. It's almost enough to make you feel sorry for killing them, but, you know, not quite.
Yeah!
Resistance 2.
The operation was a success.
The Chimera feel much more organic and real thanks to the way they move and, of course, die. And we can't forget how great the gigantic bosses look.
It is beautiful.
And the winner is NBA 2K9. Just observe the crowd in the background of the game. It's amazing work. If you happen to walk by someone playing, you might be fooled into thinking it's a real game. Superb work by 2K Sports.
Or with video games having wonderful dialogue like, I feel asleep and all your babes belong to us. It's amazing we even consider honoring writing.
There have been some dark days, but things have improved marginally. Here's our nominees. Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriot. Somehow, Hideo Kojima managed to tie up over 2 decades of loose ends in a single game. And he did it with more cinematic flair and better pacing than ever before.
Commander!
No More Heroes.
For real.
A biting satire of gamers, gaming, and American pop culture, this surprisingly lucid gore fest never fails to be hilarious, whether it's mocking itself or the player.
You're as good as dead.
The Witcher Enhanced Edition.
They're trying to break down the gate.
A totally rewritten English script helps an already well-written game work even better. It's a more faithful translation that feels targeted at adults for a change.
The important thing is you're alive and among friends.
Fable 2.
Now this is truly a marvel.
The much larger scope of the story makes it feel bigger and more epic than its predecessor, but it's the wry British sense of humor that gives Fable 2 its singular flavor. Grand Theft Auto 4. While the previous games were more over-the-top satires, the story of Niko Bellic is grounded in what passes for reality in the GTA world, mixing believable characters with sharp comedy relief and a twisting story that could have been lifted from a modern crime drama. The writing breaks new ground for the series.
No, I never tell you anything.
And the winner is Grand Theft Auto 4. Previous GTA games were ridiculously over the top, and it was nice to see this one grounded in reality.
Kind of. Yeah, great protagonist and Niko Bellic and a ton of interesting supporting characters. Even Brucey, love him or hate him.
The next group of games has thumping techno, funky Japanese tunes, and melodies to chainsaw by. There are picks for Best Original Soundtrack. Resistance 2. By turns haunting and exciting, the war to save humanity from the Chimera has exceptionally fitting accompaniment. Metal Gear Solid 4. A tour de force incorporating themes from all of Metal Gear's history, plus brand new material. Gears of War 2.
Roger that, Delta. You're good to go.
Less bombastic and more introspective than the first game, but no less excellent. No More Heroes. A quirky satirical soundtrack that's definitely in on the joke throughout the game.
What the hell was that?
Mirror's Edge.
We call ourselves runners.
Thumping rhythm tracks that react to the action as it happens. Keep your pulse racing along with Fates.
And the winner is Metal Gear Solid 4. From the opening movie to the dramatic finish, this game had wall-to-wall music, and it all worked perfectly.
And on top of that, we got plenty of love for the classic Metal Gear themes in the final boss battle.
All right, next up, another group of games that pleases the ears. This time around, they create an interesting, believable world through the use of sound design. Battlefield Bad Company. This game makes the battlefield as real as ever with some of the most intense sounds of combat we've heard in a shooter. Dead Space. Sound is an integral part of the horror genre, and Dead Space excels at bringing the muffled vacuum of space and the eerie rumblings of a stranded spacecraft to life. Condemned 2. Nothing is more frightening than the sickening sound of lunatics shambling around in the shadows of Condemned 2. The game exemplifies a visceral horror experience. Fable 2. From the bustle of large cities to the clash of swords and gunfire from distant battles, the sounds of Fable 2 make Albion a living, breathing world. Metal Gear Solid 4. Metal Gear Solid 4 creates an incredible theatrical experience with details like the idle chatter of soldiers and the impressive ambient sound.
And once again, the winner is Metal Gear Solid 4. You could hand this award over just for the game's first level.
The audio occlusion is ridiculous. In the middle of this urban warfare, you can pinpoint where people are by the gunfire. With a good sound system, your ears are just as useful as your eyes.
Coming up, Old Snake, Kratos, and Niko Bellic battle it out in the Best Action Adventure Game category. Plus, find out what title should be with you at all times. It's our award for Best Handheld Game. Then we ignore the caution flag and hand out our award for Best Racing Game. And later, X-Play's 2008 Game of the Year. Find out which one takes home the big prize right after this.
Welcome back to X-Play's Best of 2008 Award Special. Free of boring musical performances. Now, our next batch of hopefuls cater to the adrenaline junkies. Here's our short list for the Best Action Adventure Game.
Dead Space. Taking the best of Aliens and John Carpenter's The Thing and mixing it with solid limb-severing gameplay turns out to be a pretty good formula for a great horror game.
And it looks like they already popped the cork.
Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots.
Oh my God.
Solid Snake isn't afraid to change up the routine in this innovative and intense stealth action game. God of War, Chains of Olympus.
What treachery is this?
Kratos is always a welcome guest, what with his chain blades and bad attitude. This handheld adventure is as thrill-packed as either of the Spartans' PS2 outings.
Is this all you would have me do?
No more heroes. A blood-soaked action game on the Wii with a lightsaber? Suda 51's twisted game of assassins and lawn mowing is one of the Wii's unsung gems. Grand Theft Auto 4.
Sweet.
Liberty City has never been so alive and ready for open-world mayhem. A great story and memorable protagonist complement the urban chaos. And the winner is Metal Gear Solid 4. That's 3 wins in a row for Old Snake. 4 on the night.
The shooting mechanics in this game changed everything. You can play stealthy, you can go in commando style and shoot the place up, or you can fight to the death in Metal Gear.
All right, up next, a group of games that cater to those who love to drive fast and say good riddance to caution and decent insurance premiums. Here's the titles that made the cut for Best Racing Game.
MotorStorm Pacific Rim. Leaving the desert behind, the lush landscape of the Pacific Coast is the setting for this beautiful breakneck racer. Pure. Off-road trick-style racing at its best. No other game lets you manhandle an ATV in midair with this level of finesse. Mario Kart Wii. Karting in the Mushroom Kingdom is always a blast, and the Wii entering the series is no different. Grid.
Watch this, racer.
Striking a perfect balance between sim and arcade racing, this is one of the most accessible and best-looking racers of the generation so far. Burnout Paradise. Take the adrenaline-pumping crash action of Burnout and drop it into an open city, and you get one of the most addicting online racers ever. And the winner is Grid. While we did have a lot of fun with the other racing games, this one blew us away.
It is fast, fun, and the rewind feature actually helped us become better drivers. It prevented future accidents and plenty of restarts.
Now, there's no question that music rhythm games have become a staple of this generation.
Whether you're playing instruments, tapping buttons to the beat, or riding the notes in a futuristic racer, these games help you keep the beat and do it well. Guitar Hero Aerosmith. Whether you love or hate Team Tyler, Activision improved on Guitar Hero 3 in just about every way with this band-centric release. Amazing. Rock Band 2. With more great songs and a vastly improved World Tour mode, Harmonix's second EA outing delivered on every possible level. The quieter drums and auto-calibrating guitars sweeten the deal even more. Patapon needs no plastic instruments to be a great rhythm game. Controlling adorable little creatures and commanding them to kill things has never been groovier. Guitar Hero World Tour. A massive expansion of the franchise, the addition of vocals and drums has only made things better. A tremendous song list and some of the biggest names in rock history continue to define the granddaddy of modern music games. Audio Surf. This challenging action game creates entire levels out of music on your computer. Any MP3 can lead to a brand new challenge.
And the winner is Rock Band 2. Many of our gripes about the original game were fixed, and the fact that you could play all of your old songs without a hitch made us very, very happy.
The online play worked great, and all the new features were a welcome addition.
Now, we've come a long way from the days of Game & Watch style portable games. These days, handhelds are a serious, viable platform.
That's despite the games where you get to imagine you're a fashion designer or a horse trainer. Here's our picks for best handheld game.
Chrono Trigger DS. One of the best gets better with this revamped version of Square's SNES masterpiece. God of War, Chains of Olympus. All the action and scope of the PS2 series has been crammed into the PSP version with almost nothing lost in the translation. Patapon. Deceptively challenging and disarmingly cute, this rhythm strategy game is unique and addicting. Professor Layton and the Curious Village.
You must be Professor Layton, I presume.
A huge head-scratching collection of puzzlers wrapped up in a beautifully animated story with a hero who uses his brain more than a gun. The World Ends With You. Square's innovative RPG is perfect for on-the-go play anytime. And when you're not playing, you can still level up in standby mode.
And the winner is The World Ends With You. Despite the fact that Square Enix dumps out remake after remake, they managed to blow us away with this original mini masterpiece.
The game is literally exploding with new ideas, inventive ways to use the touchscreen, and I'm still a little cross-eyed from the dual-screen combat.
All right, up next is a category that is very near and dear to this gamer's heart, Best MMO.
These games drain time, money, and precious life force from your body. They're all consuming and literally can suck you into a black hole. That means they're pretty good.
Yep. Age of Conan Hyborian Adventures.
What's this now?
A real-time combat system and a low fantasy setting make this a unique entry in the MMO genre this year. With interesting classes and a violent M-rated sensibility, Age of Conan is a nice alternative to the usual squeaky clean online games.
Of course it is.
World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King. The new expansion to the most popular online RPG adds the frozen land of Northrend and a brand new character class. Warhammer Online Age of Reckoning. The first viable alternative to WoW features innovative public quests, huge instanced battlefields, and is ambitiously and aggressively moving the genre forward. And the winner is Warhammer Online. I never thought another MMO would pull me away from WoW.
We can't stress enough how addictive the public quest and realm versus realm combat can be. Plus, it's an MMO that doesn't make you completely rely on friends, which is always a good thing.
And we've dished out 20 awards so far, and there's only one more to go, Game of the Year.
7 5-star games are vying for XPlay's 2008 Game of the Year. Which one will take home the prize? Find out right after this.
War.
Welcome back to XPlay's Best of 2008 special. And we've been dishing out awards all night, but now it's time to get to the moment you've been waiting for.
I can't wait. My live performance of John Cage's 4 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yeah, we really don't have enough time for that. We're actually going to see who's going to win Game of the Year.
Fine. This year's shortlist is an amazing group of games, and we had a ton of trouble narrowing it down to 7.
Seriously.
And it was even a bigger problem to figure out which one was the best of 2008. Game of the Year, Fable 2. Grand Theft Auto 4. Fallout 3.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. Left 4 Dead.
Seen anything like this before.
Resistance 2. Gears of War 2.
Go!
And the winner of Game of the Year is Fable 2.
Yes, we had some extremely tough decisions this year, but none were more hard-fought than this one. During our staff meetings, there were deadlocks, stalemates, and even a filibuster, too. I'm not joking. But at the end of the day, Fable 2 edged out its competition.
It warmed our bitter hearts, gave us a new appreciation for canine companions, and actually a warped perception of marriage. Here to accept the Game of the Year award via satellite, creative director at Lionhead Studios, the one, the only, Peter Molyneux. Congratulations and thank you so much for being here.
Oh, well, I mean, what an amazing experience to be here and hear this news. It's just absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to go back to the team and to tell them the news. Everyone is going to just be over the moon. It's a fantastic feeling.
You know, Fable's actually a game, Fable 2 is a game that's really more than a sum of its parts. Is there an element that you can identify as something that brings magic and life to the world?
It's kind of about freedom in a way. It's up to you when you make money, up to you when you chat people up to you when you get involved in the story. You know, for me, that freedom, I think, was the extra special something maybe.
I don't know when I've been this excited about downloadable content.
Yes.
I think I actually did jump up and down and do a little victory dance.
Yeah.
So soon after the game came out, what are we going to be able to expect in that content?
Well, you can expect quite a lot, actually. You can expect more story. You can expect some things to happen in the world that you haven't seen to happen in the world before. Now, we always plan to do this, by the way. This isn't something that we sort of kind of finished Fable 2 and thought, oh, what should we do now? Let's do a bit of downloadable content. This is part of the unfolding story of Fable.
All right, since we just talked about downloadable content, obviously we want to extend Fable 2, but is there anything else in the works from Lionhead and Peter Molyneux?
Yes, we are doing. There are two big things. Now, of course, I'm going to tell you now, I'm in a black room. There's no other PR people here. They're all locked away in another room next door, so I could probably hint. Normally I've got all these policemen around me to make sure I don't say anything. But we are working on two things. Now, one of those things, to not give you any real clues, is one of those things is kind of familiar. Let's just say, I'm just going to lay some hints here before the door gets broken down. It's very familiar to the other one is completely and utterly different. It's different to anything that I have ever worked on before, different to anything that any other team has worked on before, and it's my hope, and this is something I definitely shouldn't say, but this is my hope, is that early part of next year, there's something called GDC. Around GDC, I can start telling the world a little bit more about these things.
Well, we're going to be at GDC and can't wait to see it. But for now, congratulations, Peter, and please pass that on to everyone at Lionhead who worked so hard on this game. It really is a one-of-a-kind experience.
Thank you so much for playing it, and it fills me with incredible pride to accept this. Thank you so much.
And it makes us feel good to give it. Though every single game, not just on the best of 2008, every single game that we mentioned tonight is worthy of people's attention.
I can't explain to people how hard this decision is.
Yeah.
Every game that we talk, especially for the Game of the Year nomination, every single one of those games was amazing. And it's hard, they're so different, too. It's hard comparing them, against one another.
No, it's also not that Fable 2 was that much better than everything else.
Yeah.
It was better in our minds, but it wasn't like all the other ones were bad. So congratulations to everyone who was on our list. And there you have it. X-Plays, Best of 2008.